It has been a while, and not entirely due to my own faults. Uh, I've been trying some new things. Didn't really work out, unfortunately. But hey, we still have the dark, right? It depends on if this one goes out right. Okay, so some cash, a bunch of dudes. The thing from the stars roams here this week. You might encounter it. Yeah, no, something tells me I'm not ready for that. The courtyard would have to be level 3 plus. It keeps telling me the cove. It keeps showing me the cove. And, I wouldn't mind so much if I could actually beat the darn cove. I'm pretty sure there's just something I'm not remembering about how this works. Which, in either case, would not be the first time. The Circus of the Damned. Well, somebody's been listening to way too many Five Nights at Freddy's musics. I'm gonna have to try and remember what I was doing in the first place, much less what the actual particulars of this dungeon are. It's been a while, and for some reason, I have the most extreme headache. I don't know why he got cut off. Only one way to go. Sure, it was. They don't bleed so easy, but they blight easy. Which makes a little sense. I mean, there are some species of fish that are so sensitive to their surroundings that even the slightest, well, I don't want to say disorientation, even the slightest altered factor will mean that the population dies. That is a thing. Although you don't really think of those kinds of fish walking upright on two legs and carrying swords everywhere. I was about to ask. Here, you get a buff. You get a buff, and you get a buff, but you don't. And I'm not singling out you specifically, I'm just OCD in a really odd way. Cash. Cash is good. Cash is good. Oh, accuracy. Alright. More bleeding. I know I have a special thing that destroys eldritch creatures faster. And, like, these are all considered eldritch. And I've said it before, I've said it again. I hate these darn snails. Okay, good, finally. So, anybody get a load of that Eldritch Horror by that H.P. Lovecraft guy? He was racist. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much already running out of things to say. Oh, and that wasn't even in the room. That was just slightly off center. And now you understand why the people who have OCD always hate when things are slightly off center. I mean, she got over it just fine. Why can't you? Let's try and make this one nice and clean. the game's probably mad at me for trying to take things easy at this point. Did anyone take Misfortune in Fallout, or was it all the mysterious stranger? I legitimately don't think anybody ever took Misfortune. Yeah, no. We should put some more light. Yeah, no, you want to get rid of those. I wouldn't if I had 25 cents. Yarg? What are you, a pirate now? 5 minutes in the underground ruins and you've gone native on us? Is that even okay to say anymore? Like, is that a thing I'm allowed to say? Is that considered... Is that considered a non-PC now? It's got the anti dodge buff on it, and it still dodges. Okay, neat. Our jester is taking kind of a beating at this point. I need to remember to put him back where he's supposed to go. Somebody help me remember that. This minus 15 dodge is doing very badly for him. And by that I mean very good. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Garfield. Don't worry, I'm making the face at myself. It's fine. And here we have a problem. Or even a couple problems. that's probably why I consider this the harder of the areas. These creatures actually act more like a party than the rest of them do. They have healers and tanks and sponges, and they use rudimentary tactics. Like, unlike the bandits and, like, all those creatures out in the woods, that they're a tribe, they're organized, and them being organized means they're a far greater threat. So, anybody play any good retro games lately? There's a guy I watch, I think he's British. I don't know why, but I think he's British. And he's covering a bunch of Saturn games, because, like, that's the console he had when he was younger. I don't know why, but it seems like every British person is classist to me. I guess that's just the American peeking out, because, like, there's a bunch of British VTubers, and it's like, I own my own company. And it's like, yeah, that's because your parents didn't charge you rent for 20 some years so that you could get the prestigious internship at the company that opened doors for you. And it's like, yeah, you got the job at the company and all that, and you were on an unpaid intern. You got the job at the company, and you were an unpaid intern for like years. Yeah, sure, that's good. But like, you had people taking care of you while you did that. 90% of people, especially here in America, don't get that. Like, you have to have a job and you have to take care of yourself because, there's no one else to do it. Especially not these days when everything's like 3.5 times the price. And it's like, there's a male VTuber that does that all the time, and I don't like them. And then there's the female VTuber, and she's like, "Oh, all you have to do is buy an iPhone." It's like, lady, your iPhone is more than most people's rent. Apparently, my secret weapon is being angry at British people. Cheeseburgers and shotguns and old ladies and mobility scooters yelling at squirrels, I suppose. Two angry camels in a tiny car?